you too can have your own copy of this picture if you're a member of the National Air and Space Society. It's on their calendar for 2017, along with 11 other fine World War I aircraft related photos, including another one you may have heard me talking about, first Aero Squadron fabric. This is part of a collection of items that came to us from the family of Oki Siren. I'm making a wild guess at the pronunciation. I suspect he's that it may be Finnish or something. He enlisted in August of 1917 and was deployed as a ground crewman in the 94th Aero Squadron until he was demobilized in June of 1919. And this is fabric from Harvey Weir Cook's airplane. In the cut from it after the war, because you could see from the original photo that it had been painted black in the fancy color schemes they were doing after the war. There's the photo, and he's annotated on the back what or who was in the photo. Based on these annotations and so forth, I think this scrapbook that we got, or this photo album that we received, was not one that he built up himself while he was there necessarily, not that he collected and kept there, but these were photographs that he sent home to, from later content, the woman who became his wife, letting her know what he was up to and what was happening around the site. And so that's pretty much what we're seeing. Here you can see there's the actual fabric and there's the photograph on the plane. So you can see how they do line up, the crosses match. If we look closely, when we look closely at it, we can actually see there's some edging around here. Like either they painted a border, there's just a little bit of relief, like either they painted a black border over it, or they may have painted a slightly smaller marking after they just painted the whole plane black, and then put the marking back, or put the squadron insignia back on. And I don't think we're going to scrape down the fabric or the pigment to see which it was. We may try some of our reflection transformation imaging to get a better look at the relief and get an idea of what may be under other parts of it, but that remains to be seen what will happen. Here's another photograph of a number of the pilots. They've annotated which pilots are in there, and again, this is why I think these are photos that were sent back home. You know, here's the plane in which Cook became an ace, and now it's the keenest, I think he said, painted ship in our outfit. He describes the paint job and gives what its number had been, and then he identifies the officers.
24?
Yes, 24 is what he says. Here's another one of their planes. Again, he says hat and ring, and he attributes that to Major Loughbury, and says Lieutenant Wentworth drew it out and Alan Winslow drew it out. A couple of the pilots with their tipping their squadron hats in front of their their respective planes, as you can tell by the different markings. Let's see, Captain, formerly Lieutenant Palmer, and then Captain Chambers. This is after Rickenbacker had left them. It says the present CEO. And again, I figure with all these annotations, that was what he sent home. This, again, why they sent home. Quentin Roosevelt, some German postcards that were sent, that were created. Quentin Roosevelt beside his plane, and then his grave site, with annotations on there. Then Major Lufbery, and then the Memorial Day, they had wreaths for two of their pilots, Paul Kurtz and Raoul Lufbery. More of the pilots, and then I think this is actually the same photograph, just another print of it, of Harvey Weir Cook next to his aircraft in the bottom right-hand corner. And then several of the pilots unidentified, or not, and officers in Koblenz in April of 1919. And just, again, winter photos, and then photograph down here from earlier on. This is Revencourt for that lower photo during the war, or possibly right after, because the aircraft are still in the camouflage. I don't know if you can actually see from where you're sitting, but upper left is Rickenbacker, another pilot lower right in there with their aircraft.
Looks like Chambers' plane.
Now, unfortunately, that wasn't identified. Then we've got two of the ground crew, Oki, Sir, and on the right was identified. This was actually a copy photograph. There wasn't an original for this one in the collection. So I don't know what the story is behind the loss of the original while they had a copy. Might have been somebody found the negative and printed it later. Let's see.
Now things get strange.
Yes, now, yes, as Carl says. This line of German prisoners with that famed, that dastardly German Rickenbacker in the lead, wearing a coal scuttle, carrying a Mauser pistol. Yes, his German POWs and Revencourt in October of 1918. Rickenbacker and his crew in the other photograph there. And again, Rickenbacker has taken a bayonet through the middle section, and he is still fighting. He's still shooting at, or he's still forcing the surrender of. Let's see.
These are German prisoners.
These are actual German prisoners of war in the background, but and he's making Lieutenant Sherry. It reads, "Beg for mercy."
And there's a notation not to distribute.
Yes, please do not publish this.
More the reason why John believes that it went home.
Yeah.
Because so that it wouldn't wind up in the press of Rickenbacker.
Or atrocities.
Yeah, well, there's a similar notation next to the Quentin Roosevelt photographs. Not to be, please don't.
Alden Sherry was one of the squadron men. It says so down at the bottom. So is he the one wearing the coal
Yeah,
skull?
Yeah.
I mean,
So they're messing with each other.
They're having
Yeah.
this. If you get up close and look at the pictures of the German prisoners of war, they're cracking up.
Yeah.
They're laughing. They haven't
they
seen a
really
comedy
are.
show like this since they were in Berlin.
Yeah.
You know?
But anyway, and then an earlier photo, some earlier Newport photos at Toul in April 1918, which again is suggests to me that he was with the squadron, basically, the whole time he was overseas.
Well, that Newport will be familiar to people who've been upstairs.
Yeah. That,
Jimmy Meissner.
yeah. And, then officers' quarters, at Tool, and then, again, why I think that it was photos sent to his wife. His postcard is addressed to, or his to-be wife. The postcard is addressed to a Miss Anna Berg, and it's dated, the postmark is November 1917, which would about correspond with when he was transit overseas after his after boot camp and preliminary training, coming through Washington. And I looked up on fold 3, I looked up his World War II overage draft card, and his wife is listed as Anna Soderman. You know, so we've got the name match there, and for, you know, which pretty much ties it down to me that, yeah, this is the same person. And it's sent to Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, and that's where he came from before the war, and where he was living after the war. And so that's pretty much what we found so far. You know, so here we go yet again, more fabric from me.